Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Nearly Senior Citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. Yay! It's a brand new day. I'm still metabolizing. That is a good thing. I'm still fighting the good fight, and the long defeat is still a battle we are doing. Definitely a thumbs up on that. It is good if you are metabolizing as well. Hopefully, if you are watching this, you are metabolizing. Definitely a thumbs up. Here in Shelton, Washington, it stopped raining. It's gotten pretty cold. I was too warm last night. Thank goodness my legs didn't cramp. But it wasn't as chilly outside, and so it was warmer inside, and I had to go down to one thermal blanket. Not thermal, a fleecy blanket, instead of the two that I had been using. But once I took off that extra one, I cooled down, and it was good. So I slept, not wonderfully, not incredibly, but I slept, and that was a good thing. So thumbs up on that. Been out going on walkies, did my walkies, and you know, I walked on 2/3 of the railroad tracks. So now I'm walking on about 2/3 of them, because the first part, if you're walking from, the descriptions aren't necessary. There is a one part of the track, another part of the track. This first 2/3 is just right by the roads. The last 1/3 of it goes back behind some urban housing and through a more wooded area, and so that's the area where you'll be scaring a deer if they're out. And because it satisfies some nostalgic need within my brain to walk on railroad tracks, I now just walk on the first 2/3, and then when I get to the housing, I just get to the road and then walk off there because I don't want to scare any deer that might be there. Now, during the daytime, if I walk on the tracks, I'm going to just walk on the tracks. You know, so I won't be startling any deer that way. They can see me coming and hear me coming from way off in the light, so thumbs up. But past that, of course, if you could, if you like or see what you hear, hit the like button, or if you could subscribe to the channel if you have not, or of course, if you could become a patreon.com patron, like one of these very beautiful, very awesome people that have been helping me out incredibly. I would not be able to be surviving if it were not for these people here. Hokie smokes, they keep a roof over my head, food in my belly, and my pets alive. Thank you so much to each and every one of these beautiful and awesome people. So, now that the front loading is out of the way, I have been doing a lot of creative thinking about things. But first, I didn't finish yesterday because I wanted to do some game recording yesterday. But with the way time was working and the way the day was going and the way I've been feeling of late, it's a mental issue a lot. It was hard. And so by the time things came around, I couldn't even do a game recording. I have a very volatile mood, unfortunately. But I still have been trying to do a lot of creative thinking about all these various things. When I switch from things like the bone-hurting juice world to talking about this more modern setting, they're all still a part of the same setting, the same framework. None of these places, these settings would work without the cosmic horror framework that I've been working on. And so they're all part of the same setting, the cosmic horror framework. But then the cosmic horror framework is such that it encompasses everything from rom-coms to Marvel comics and Marvel movies to just straight up horror. So thumbs up on that. But I had mentioned past couple days how there's the dangers that are in the world that's, well, the inner area where you can go in and it's a whole other world that's not really our world is dangerous. But just like the world out here is dangerous, you grew up in it. It's not weird and dangerous to you. It's, you know to be careful, but it's your world. It's normal to you. Same thing for the people that are on the inside, and kind of sort of the same thing for the people on the razor's edge. You grew up with a lot of this stuff. It's not weird to you. When strangers come by, then it sort of gets thrown into bas relief, BAS, not BASD. It's, you know, it's like that carved wood stuff. But it gets thrown into relief and you can see it, but normally it's just stuff you live with. I mentioned the town of Tall Ned the other day, where it was showing how the geography on the Razor's Edge is fluid. I, of course, can't let things go, and so I worked on a character and the town of Tall Ned. There is the sheriff, and he was advertising for a deputy, and like 5 years back filled that with this one character who had been as a police officer slowly moving to more rural areas because of just the politics of police and propping up the departments with speeding tickets and infractions, and you got to get this done because you need the money, and just there was more politics, there was more hurting others instead of doing the serving and protecting. And so he kept moving to more and more smaller, more rural areas and finding what he was looking for. He was lucky, you know, he hit the non-corruption areas, but he was also lucky in that he doesn't know he was in the 10% that can actually see and connect with and feel and hear and touch and taste all the signs that will lead you inside. So he eventually, when he's in a town real close to the Razor's Edge, hears about a job opening in Tall Ned. So he ends out to Tall Ned and starts talking with the sheriff, and yeah, he finds out that he can see the stuff, he found the signs, he headed out there, and yeah, the sheriff needs a job, so he gets the job. And he just moves in. Moves his stuff into the town of Tall Ned, and he's happy there because they've been doing real serve and protect. None of this politics stuff. In fact, when the sheriff had a prophetic dream about a creature called a catanope that was coming up, and went through the ThruNet, which is the inside version of the internet, and hit the Palmer and Hatch database to look up on catanopes. Well, the prophetic dreams of the sheriff, he was centering around the golden bullet, so they made a bullet out of gold, and in the big battle with this thing, there was a lot of bullets, but in the end, when it was dead, there was no damage to the catanope except for the one bullet entry, the damage through the creature's body, and then its heart that had been pierced and destroyed by that golden bullet. So they actually serve and protect. They've saved more lives just in the 5 years that he's been there at Tall Ned than he has in any other time. So he's happy. He's thrilled to be living there. And the sheriff, of course, is both sad and glad to have him because he's like, you know, it's not really his fight, but he's putting up with all this stuff to protect the people out there in Tall Ned. And of course, one of the sheriff's biggest and saddest things is, well, the town is named after Tall Ned because Tall Ned was one of the original founders of the settlement way back when, a couple hundred years back. Tall Ned was known as Tall Ned because he was about 15 feet tall. Very tall, thin guy. You know, but he was really nice, pushed for things that would help people, you know. He gave of his own money so that people could live. And it's not like he would go out into the wild and, you know, stalk and kill and eat feral pigs all that often. So he was a nice guy, and so they named the place after Tall Ned. But as the original founders of Tall Ned started dying off, he got more and more feral. Never an animalistic being, still nice. But after the last of the original founders died, he just headed off into the woods and just never really came back. Of course, a couple hundred years later, Tall Ned's still out there. And the sheriff's kind of sad that he can't stop him because you'd need like a full army with real good weaponry. Anything less than that, and it would just be murder. And it would be murder of everyone you're taking in there with you. And they're a small town. They can't get an army, so they can't go after Tall Ned. And Tall Ned hasn't been a problem except for, of course, last 30 years or so. Tall Ned has been a little less discriminate about what kind of meat he eats. And he's not above taking some of the locals. But the guy's still pretty happy that he lives there. In fact, he's more of a nature type. He still goes camping. You know, he didn't grow up there, but he watches the natives. And when the people of Tall Ned are wary, he doesn't go out into the woods because they know, without being able to say exactly what they're watching for, when Tall Ned is starting to be active. So he doesn't go camping during those times. Very careful. Still might get taken. You know, somebody always goes. But it's still a beautiful place, and he's happy. So I thought that was pretty cool on that one. Nice thing. But I was talking also about how Apple Rock is a place that it's not really a thing. It's more of a being. And I use death as humor, and I just wanted to stress how absolutely horrific it would be to live in Apple Rock when this thing gets bored or hungry. Because, let's say, you're just out driving your motorcycle. You're driving at a good, safe speed. It's after midnight. You're heading home somewhere. You're out on the roads. It gets bored. Suddenly, your bike stops. You're not sure how, because you're picking yourself up off the road. You were driving along, things were really nice, and then suddenly you're tumbling, bike is tumbling, things are getting smashed around, and then you're just stopped trying to figure out what the hell just happened. And your arm's not supposed to have that many bends in it, nor is that one bend supposed to actually have the bones in your arm coming out through it. So you need help. And of course, every road leads to Apple Rock. So if this was a story or a movie, you would be seeing this poor fellow as he's getting more and more hurt. And it ends in a very, very bad way. It's not nice. Apple Rock is not pleasant, in as much as I may joke it up with, oh, you know, it's hard to eat everybody. It's like, imagine that first biker guy in the beginning who takes the tumble, and at the very end of it is staggering toward Apple Rock while whimpering. One foot crushed, mangled, swollen, his arm still broken, fingers missing, teeth are knocked out. Badly broken. Without any hospitalization, this person is going to die, and they are staggering towards Apple Rock. And that's how I said they're whimpering, and they're saying and meaning it, just going, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And as they get closer, it's just, I'm sorry, I tried to not come here. I'm sorry, I tried to get away. I'm sorry, I tried to live. I'm sorry, I tried not to die. And then getting up to it and just leaning against it and rubbing their just destroyed arm up against it, smearing their blood on it, and just crying and whimpering and just saying, I'm bleeding on you. Here is my blood. Please just kill me and stop hurting me. And then they feel Apple Rock warming up underneath them. So it's not a pleasant way to go, nor is it very pleasant to be in town when it's rampaging through an area. But you normalize things, and remember, people grew up around this. And hey, if Apple Rock goes rampaging, it can't get everyone. There's like 20,000 plus people in town. If it starts rampaging, it's only gonna get, you know, maybe 100 people maximum. Sure, there's property damage, but that's on the other side of town. And even if it's in your neighborhood, there's buildings and stuff you can run. So living in Apple Rock, you normalize the threat, you normalize the danger. It happens. Occasionally it starts rampaging. You just run away. And if you can't run away, hey, we all go sometime. So it's a very dangerous place, but then things are dangerous out here too, aren't they? You can easily get injured and stop living in a rural or urban or any setting. Hey, life is life, and thumbs up for that. And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab with, once again, far less than 25 people having left me comments. But the fact that anybody at all did, thumbs up and thank you very much. It is appreciated to no end. Definitely a good thing. If I mispronounce the username, no disrespect is intended. And even though I count in American Sign Language, and even though it's a very small number anymore, I still get lost. I have fibromyalgia. Fibro fog is fun. So, yay. But let me call my Chrome. We have J, just the letter J, thumbs up and thank you. And then there's, I've never known if this is pronounced Louis or Lewis. I guess it's all depend on what you like. L-U-L-O-U-I-S. Thumbs up and thank you. Have confused L29, always good to see you in the comments. There is Denial, yay. Vocal cords and a burp. Yay, thumbs up and thank you. We have Bobo Wrath Sovine. Sort of thumbs up. The Last Day Breathing in Eternal Snow. That's grim, but thumbs up and thank you. Kyle Wren, thumbs up. There's Johnny K. Always good to see you in the comments, and thank you. We have Hyperflow Studio. There's Araketa. Greatly appreciated, and that is it. 10 people left me comments in the past 24 hours on all like 3 or so of my videos, so yay, thank you very much. It is appreciated. Definitely a stated to get me out of my head and for a very short time into the world and dealing with people, if only in text. That's a good thing. Definitely a thumbs up. And of course, as stated in the beginning of the video, sort of, I do have various links down in the video description, not channel description, in the video description, which I don't know where it is on the device you're watching this on, but I have links to all of my various channels, and of course, I have like Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and if you could, once again, become a patreon.com patron like one of these beautiful and very awesome people. That would be very beautiful, very awesome. If you would like to help me out without becoming a patron, I do have a PayPal link somewhere in the video description. If you could throw me whatever spare cash you have, I am desperate. I have no shame. I will grub for it. Thank you. If you could, it'd be awesome. If you'd like to help me out without sending any money at all, I do have an Amazon wish list link where hopefully, I will have finally, upper plate just wants to fall right out. I will have finally gone through and updated my Amazon wish list link. Hopefully I have. That would be good. But, of course, do not feel obligated. I do not feel entitled. And if you cannot or you simply do not donate, I take all good wishes and I deposit them in the bank of my heart where I draw interest. So thank you very much. If you could toss me a like, I appreciate all the positive validation I get from my existence. A definite thumbs up. And, of course, if you could hit the notification bell on the subscription button and maybe share the video with people that you think would like it, that would be very, very cool. A definite thumbs up. Yay! Well, good golly, Miss Molly. Well, hokey smokes. And I can't just glue them in because I take them out when I'm not recording because I don't want them to break. I need to get them fixed, but that's like $200 and I can't even afford to buy food most months, so I can't even afford to get them fixed. But anyway, I'm going to be recording something today, not quite sure what. I'll be recording a game, I hope. That would be good. I'm going to be staying as creative as I possibly can. And, of course, seek creativity. You do not have to monetize your passions, but seek creativity. Of course, stay positive. Being negative only hurts you. It's not a good thing. And balance in all things. There is good and bad in life. You need to experience both. With the Covfefe bug still raging around the world, if you don't have to go out, please don't. If you do, maintain your social distancing, wear a mask, wash your hands, try not to touch your face. If you haven't, please get vaxxed. If you have been vaxxed and it's available, get a booster. Past that, it's not political, it's not a hoax, it's just a disease, it just wants to spread. Deny it that chance. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side. And that is, well, my book, a definite thumbs up.